Hello everyone, amateur meteorologist FirstinWeather here. It is August 9th, 2019, and this is going to be another winter discussion video. I'll be looking at the ENSO conditions and also the PDO, and I'll be looking at some analog years and just discussing what this could mean for the upcoming winter. And again, this is by no means an official forecast. This is simply discussion for what could be occurring this winter. So let's get right into the video. First off, I want to talk about ENSO conditions. So here is the statistical average of models. And as you can see, if we look at the statistical average for December, January, and February, we are right about at 0.6, all right? And the dynamical average is around 0.3 or 4. The CFS is a bit too cold in my opinion. It's taking it to negative 0.2, negative 0.4. I think that's a bit too cold. And then here is the NMME, and as you can see, most of the models are above 0.0, and most of them are in the 0.0 to 0.3 range. So it's looking quite likely that the ENSO conditions for this year will be around 0.3 to around 0.6. And now if we transition to the PDO, it's looking more and more likely that we could be seeing a positive PDO this winter, a disorganized phase of the positive PDO. This is I believe the CFS, if not the NMME forecast for December, January, and February averaged out. As you can see, a distinctive horseshoe shape with warmer than average waters basically extending from south of Alaska all the way down to near the equator in the western central portion of the Pacific Ocean. And to the right, we can see that we had a value of 0.36 in July, which is the highest we've had since April of 2017. So definitely there are some hints that we will be seeing a positive PDO this winter. As of now, we don't really know how strong that PDO will be, but we just know that we are going to be inclined to see conditions above 0.00 for this winter. So I looked at analogs. So what I did was I looked for years or winters that had El Nino conditions between values of 0.2 or ENSO conditions between 0.2 and 0.6, and then I just looked to see if those winters had positive PDOs. And the 4 years, or the years that had a positive PDO and ENSO conditions between 0.2 and 0.6, oh, excuse me, got a little message here, let me exit that. So the years that had 0.2 to 0.6 were the winter of 1958-1959, 69-70, 79-80, and 2014-2015. And as you can see, these are the analogs from those 4 years, and we can see we have a distinct ridge in the west, or above average temperatures in the west, and quite a bit of below average temperatures in the east. So this would indicate that when you have conditions that are between 0.2 and 0.6 on the ENSO scale and positive PDO conditions, you are inclined to see ridging in the west and significant troughing in the east. And so these are the 4 years in more detail. This is the winter of 59. You had an ENSO value of 0.6 and a PDO value of 1.19, 1.06, and 0.36, and this is all respective from December through February. In the winter of 1969-70, you had an ENSO value of 0.5, and you had PDO values of 1.08, 1.03, and 0.97. Same thing for 79-80, except the PDO was much more neutral. It's just barely positive. And then finally, in the winter of 2014, we had 0.6 for ENSO, and then we had a very strong PDO, 1.95, 1.70, and 1.76. This is, if you recall, when we were in that phase of extremely positive PDOs that lasted between 2013 and 2015. In fact, the PDO was just unusually strong. That really helped to amplify the ridge in the west and the trough in the east for both those winters. One thing I want to note is, though, the ENSO values here are all a bit high. They're all in the upper range. I really couldn't find any analog years where the ENSO was 0.2, 0.3, and we had a positive PDO. So this could be a limiting factor in this. If we have slightly lower ENSO values, it could have changed the analog. Unfortunately, though, there wasn't really any year with a 0.2 ENSO and a positive PDO. And this is essentially a map of what what the analog was showing, it was showing rigid in the west, warmer than average conditions, probably drier than average conditions too, and then big troughing in the east with colder than average conditions in the Midwest, the Mid-Atlantic, and the Northeast. And with the ENSO conditions, or weak El Nino conditions, the subtropical jet stream is usually more amplified. And so what the analog is showing is the polar jet and also the subtropical jet merging in this area right around here. If we go back up to the analog, we can see that the troughing, where the jet stream would be right around here. Let me go back up. Let me get my pen for you guys. Would be more like, the jet stream would be something like this, all right, or maybe even more like this, right? And so with that more active subtropical jet stream, we would see a lot of systems form right here, and that could make things a lot more snowy along the east coast. And you know, I'm not really a forecaster or amateur meteorologist that's gonna amp up the hype each year about, oh, record snow, but I really am seeing signs for a potential snowier than average winter and colder than average winter in the east, because again, the Pacific is really what controls the weather in the United States, because that is to the west of us. If you can't get the Pacific right, it's impossible to get the rest of the forecast correct. And I can say with relative confidence that we're going to see ENSO conditions between 0.2 and 0.6 and a positive PDO. And when those conditions have been in place, this is what we have typically seen with colder than average temperatures in the east, warmer than average conditions in the west, and potentially a lot of systems forming along the eastern coast, providing snowier than average conditions in the mid-Atlantic and also coastal regions of the Northeast. So again guys, this is just a winter discussion. This is by no means a forecast. However, this is one of the factors that I'm considering into my winter forecast, and this factor is giving, these two factors of ENSO and the PDO are giving cold signals for this winter for the eastern half of the country. So again guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time.